Welcome back to Zymol's Ugly Dog Studio. Get ready to meet Anne Triece, the publisher of Guitar Aficionado Magazine. Okay, everybody, so we're back in the Ugly Dog Studio. Yeah, that's me. I'm considered the ugly dog. Actually not. It's Wrinkling, our Shar-Pei that had passed. And I've got an opportunity. I have Anne Triece here. Anne is with Guitar Aficionado. Anne is the publisher of Guitar Aficionado. So we've got an opportunity to ask Anne some questions that I know you want to ask her. So Anne, welcome to the infamous Ugly Dog Studio.
Thank you, Chuck. It's great to be here.
That's great.
I really appreciate your having me.
Well, I wanted to find out, I think like everybody wants to find out, how does Guitar Aficionado choose its articles? What's the process for choosing articles?
Well, Chuck, it's like any publication. In some cases, stories come to us. In some cases, we seek out the stories. We hear things. We have publicists contact us. They put out a feeler. Perhaps it might be somebody you didn't even know collected guitars or had an amazing collection, and yet they do, like Richard Gere a few years back.
Richard Gere's got a collection?
Richard Gere had an amazing collection, 120 guitars.
Wow.
And they were apparently tripping over them. As you may know, he owns the Bedford Post, which is a bed and breakfast in Bedford, New York. And they were tripping over them. But more importantly, he wanted to do some good in the world. And he had sold a guitar the year before for $85,000 and wanted to help build schools and clinics in the Himalayas. And so he auctioned off his entire collection. And he came to Guitar Aficionado and asked us to, write the story. So we were thrilled about that. So in some cases, celebrities come to us. In some cases, it's happenstance. For example, when Jeff Bridges made Crazy Heart 3 years ago, when he won the Academy Award, we were the only magazine with Jeff Bridges on the cover the very next day. Some of it was a bit of luck, but he had committed to us. And so we had a wonderful story on him and his love of guitars. We visited him at his ranch up in Santa Barbara and had a wonderful story. So in many cases, it can be about an iconic, legendary guitarist, somebody like a Jimmy Page. And in some cases, it's someone you may not even know, like a Tom Colicchio, a Top Chef, or John McEnroe, or some other, cover subjects that many people don't realize.
Wow!
They're
so if we
either players and/or collectors.
So if we want to invite some people down to have some fun in our studio, I bet you've got a list of names that'd be fantastic.
We know who they are. Know who they are, and sometimes it's very surprising who is. And sometimes they play only for themselves. Richard Gere, for example, plays very meditatively. He doesn't perform. He doesn't play his guitar in public very often at all, if at all. But he talked to when we talked to him, he told Guitar Aficionado about that.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Okay, so we've got readers suggesting, we've got staff suggesting,
publicists, and Guitar Aficionado. Just kind of back up. We've been in existence for 5 years now, and Guitar Aficionado, very simply, is for men, for the most part, men who collect expensive guitars and love them, not only as a musical instrument, but as a work of art. And that's who we appeal to. And for the most part, they're quite affluent. It's not a hobby, it's an expensive hobby. Let's put it that way. But it's a highly specialized audience, and they also appreciate fine spirits and travel and fashion. Cars, for sure. Motoring is a huge pillar of ours. And so it's really a men's lifestyle magazine with fine guitar collecting at its passion point, at its center. And that's who we are. That's our reason for being.
I think I saw an article in Guitar Aficionado about someone who is a race car driver that has guitars. I can't remember who it was. But, when you think about this, it's really, Guitar Aficionado is really a lifestyle magazine, isn't it?
That's right. It really is. And sometimes it's sports figures, and sometimes it's somebody like a Paul Allen, for example. Who knew? He actually started a museum in Seattle, and we reported on that. And it's just wonderful stories about people from all walks of life that love the guitar, and which is why it's so perfect for someone like yourself who creates products that help them care for these instruments they love so dearly.
Does Guitar Aficionado um, have its magazines at newsstands? Can I get Guitar Aficionado?
You can.
If I go, where should I go to find it?
Of course, the finest bookstores. We're
Okay.
sold, of course, Barnes and Noble, airports. We also have, certain very, very fine hotels. For example, like the Sunset Marquis, which is a legendary hotel in West Hollywood. There are issues of Guitar Aficionado in the rooms, which you're able to take with you, and we
Wow.
will replace them after that person takes them if they choose to do so. And first class airline lounges at London's Heathrow. You can, if you're going on an 8-hour flight and you would like to take a copy of Guitar Aficionado. So all of this is wonderful for advertisers because the men that are in those venues and take Guitar Aficionado, or women, but for the most part men, are very hard to reach. These are very elusive people. And for marketers, they are gold, they're holy grail because they have so much disposable income.
I think this magazine is really important, and I think it's important, at least for my company, because we're in automotive and because we're in musical instrument care. I think this is an important solution for us on where we ought to be doing advertising, and I think that I should talk to my crew about getting some ads together and trying out some of the automotive advertising in Guitar Aficionado and see what happens there.
Oh,
I didn't realize that you had such a broad coverage and you had such a broad access base to the magazine.
We do indeed.
Yeah,
And in fact, Aston Martin and Porsche and Jaguar and a tremendous amount of automotive advertising has been placed in Guitar Aficionado over the years. Triumph Motorcycles. It's a place for men who just love watches, wine, cars, and certainly guitars.
Can I go to Guitar Aficionado if I wanted to and I didn't want to get a magazine for whatever the reason is? Can I get a copy of it digitally?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Digital editions of most magazines are growing, and we're no exception. Absolutely. You go on the Apple newsstand or Google or Kindle. You can
Wow.
access Guitar Aficionado
Wow.
in many, many different ways. Yes,
And-
indeed. And of course, our website, guitaraficionado.com, has a lot of wonderful stories and reviews, and you can really get an education.
If I've got if I see
there.
something in the magazine, if I open it up and I see a company that's selling wonderful guitar straps, and it's got a web address, are your digital issues active so that I can go up and I can just click on that web address for that strap company and it'll take me there?
That's absolutely right, and there's no additional
Wow.
charge. The creative
Wow.
is linked at no charge, and yes, indeed, we certainly do that. We're Guitar Aficionado is a very, very good partner, Chuck. We're very proud of that, and we try very hard to really support all of our fine advertisers in any way we can.
Well, I know we've been in Guitar Aficionado for a while, and I don't see us. I think what the term is, we're going to be in Guitar Aficionado till forbid, and
That's wonderful.
and I love being in there because
Thank you.
the magazine really is for us and for any guitar player, I think, and collector, the Bible. It's where people should go to read about what's available, what's new, what's old.
Thank you.
What's borrowed, and I just think it's great.
Thank you so much.
I just
Chuck.
think it's
we
great.
really appreciate
Any
it.
advice
very
for
much.
our people watching this? Any advice about what they should do with in their searches for guitars, and if they're trying to find classic guitars, is there a particular section within Guitar Aficionado they should go to?
That kind of editorial, is throughout the magazine. We do a wonderful job of weaving lifestyle editorial and guitars. But I think one of the things that is most important is what you said, and that goes back to education. And that's what we try to do, make our readers or people in the market for fine guitars just that much more knowledgeable. And your education process about caring for these fine guitars is just a wonderful part of it.
Well, this has been lots of fun. Anne,
thank you.
I'm so thrilled that you came to visit us.
My pleasure, Chuck.
And, I'm so thrilled that I'm in Guitar Aficionado Magazine. It's proud for us to say that we are. Thank you, everybody. See you again soon.
Thank you.
From Ugly Dog Studio. Bye-bye.